Phyto-Khol and Sisley, trying out the Patrick Ta Major Dimensions palette plus the brow wax that I have on here, the Westman Atelier Super Loaded Highlighter Peau de Peche, which is new to me. And then I'm trying on a new primer, Cle de Peau, the Radiant Primer, and Rose Ink, the Tinted Foundation. So if you're interested, then keep watching. So we will start with the new Cle de Peau Beauty Brightening Enhancer Veil Broad Spectrum SPF 32. I originally wanted to try this with the Cle de Peau, but I actually ended up buying a new foundation called Rose Ink from the Sephora sales. I'll be trying these two together to see how they work together. So this is a new primer, and it's very small. It's about 3 milliliters or 1 fluid ounce, but a little goes a long way. So I'm going to shake it and then not let you hear the shaking mechanism because it's kind of loud. So there's some sort of ball in here to mix up the liquid in here. And what I found is like a little goes a long way. I haven't tried it on my face yet, but I did try a little bit on my hand just to see how it looks. So this is what it looks like. It's very watery. It's interesting because it's got SPF in it. So, you know, for SPF, you usually need a lot for SPF. And I don't know if I would rely on this alone for the SPF, but it's nice that it's in there. Okay, so you can see already there's a little bit of a sheen. So it's on this side of the face. It's like a slight white cast. So we'll see. I mean, that's a thing to watch with SPFs and primers, is that I have to be careful that it doesn't make me look ashy. So we'll see what happens with this primer. And maybe it'll be fine. We'll see. I mean, it definitely made, you can definitely see it made me lighter in terms of white cast. There's no smell, which is really, really nice. At least no smell that I can detect. Usually Cle de Peau has some sort of perfume, but I think I don't detect that so much in their foundations. And not as much as like Dior or Gucci or Chanel. That was just a little bit of the Cle de Peau Beauty Brightening Enhancer Veil, and I picked this up at Nordstrom's when it was on sale. I'll put the price down below. All the information's linked below. Okay, so how does it feel? It feels a little tacky, but not sticky, just slightly tacky. Next up, we'll use the Rose Ink Skin Enhance Luminous Tinted Serum, and I have this in shade 80 or 80. I was able to use this once already. I'm hoping this will be a dupe for my Chanel Water Fresh Tint. Here's what it looks like one squeeze. And I actually like to just put it on my face. I don't really want to mix it on my hand. Okay, that was one pump for one side. What's nice is that it tampered down some of that white cast a little bit. Oh, I think my ring light was blowing out the color a bit. So I'm going to go in with a second pump and then see what happens if I do mix it a little bit. And this is my brush from Koyudo. It's one of my favorite foundation brushes, the Faux Pas brush. Feels very watery, very refreshing. Definitely very reminiscent of the Chanel Water Fresh Beige foundation. And that it's cooling. The difference is that I can notice right away is that it doesn't have any scent, which is really nice. Chanel products usually, especially the foundations, definitely have a scent, kind of their signature scent. Some foundations of Chanel's bother me more than others, but for that water fresh tint, the perfume in that formula does not bother me so much as others. And if you want me to do a Chanel foundation review, let me know. In real life, it looks a little bit more luminous, but on the camera, it's, I think maybe because of the foundation, it's picking up to make me look really white and chalky. So I'm gonna try lowering this a bit. I still think I look a little bit ghostly, and I think it might have to do with the foundation. So again, I've used this. This is the second time I've used this, and it's definitely did not look like this when I used it without the primer. So I'll have to wear test and use this foundation again without this primer, and then maybe even just try the primer with the Cle de Peau products and see. In terms of the foundation, I think it's really nice. What I remember from wearing it the first time is that there actually was kind of a natural luminosity to it. In real life, I don't look as washed out in real life as I do on the camera. So this might be the type of primer and primer foundation combo that looks better in real person than on camera. Okay, so I'll test that out. So I did end up getting the Westman Atelier contour stick in Biscuit, and I used it twice since this film, prior to this filming, and it's too light. So it actually ended up muddling a lot of my makeup because I was trying to work it into, make it work. I was basically trying to make it work, and it was just too light. So I know already that it's a fail, and that I should have just stuck to my Truffle color, which is, I believe there's 3 colors for the Westman Atelier contour stick. I believe there's Biscuit, which is the lightest, Truffle's medium, and the deepest is Ganache. And I hope, like, here's the thing, I think it'd be nice if she had more than 3 colors, and I'm somewhere between a Biscuit and a Truffle because almost this is too warm. In a pinch it does the trick, but people do go gaga about Westman Atelier. I just don't know how inclusive her brand is, and that kind of irks me a little bit. But you know, I'm trying out the products and then seeing how it goes. So I'm kind of finding where my cheekbone here ends, and then taking the product here. Again, finding the bone here. I have to say this contour stick is very convenient. And I do, out of all the formulas I've tried so far, I've tried a bunch of different cream products. This is the best formula that I have found to be super easy to work with. So I get the hype around that product. So just working that product in. And then also noticing if the contour is moving with the foundation I laid down. It doesn't seem to be, which is a good thing. And it's really not a heavy foundation, it's a skin tint, so I'd be surprised if it did move the product around. Okay. It blends super easily, and I would say that out of all the cream contours, I find this to be the creamiest, and not just moving and spreading, but it also stays. So the Chanel is also super creamy, but it disappeared on me. So that deeper Chanel bronzer shade did not last very long in my collection. Okay. So that's nice, just a little bit of contour there, but you know, I usually don't stop there. I just keep contouring. This kit was a fail for me, so I just went back to Truffle, and I love this color on this stick. I'm going to move on to trying the new Patrick Ta for Brows Shaping Wax in major brow, and I think there's only a clear and then a tinted. So I got the tinted color, and this is what the packaging looks like. Really nice packaging. I love the rose gold. And although it's plastic, I really, again, love the rose gold, and this is what it looks like. So it's some sort of gel wax. No, it's definitely a wax. It's a waxy product. The directions say that activate the formula with setting mist or water, brush a spoolie or a firm brush into the pan to pick up a small amount of wax, and brush through clean brows in an upward-outward motion, shape as desired. I'm going to take my Chantecaille Rose de Mai pure rose water and spray that on there. So I guess I'm supposed to work the product in there into the spoolie. And I have no idea if I'm doing this right. This is the first time I'm using this product or even done this technique. So I'm just kind of digging into the product to get the wax, tinted wax, and then see what goes from there. I think I'm gonna stop because it might be too much. Oh, it definitely makes my eyebrows spiky. And that's the trend now. Okay, so we're going with it. This is the first time I'm trying that, and y'all might hate it, or you might think it's cool, but this is makeup, we're just playing. And I'm gonna go in with another spray and then dig into the product again. Okay, and I'm still unsure of how much I should be digging. I actually appreciate that it's actually working, because when I had looked up how to make eyebrows go up like this, people were saying use the pear soap, which I think is an English product. That's what I remember. Oh, these might getting too unruly. Unless I want to laminate them against my forehead, which is, I guess, could be a look. That's interesting. I feel like I'm evil. It's so, I think it's a little too much. Let me just calm that down a little bit. Okay, so first impressions, it does what it says. It's going to spike them up. It deposited a little bit of color, but because it pushed it up, it made it also, yeah, less, I don't know, it's a different look. I'm also brushing this aside. I also got this product because I have this thing where on my forehead, my baby hairs, and those of you who have baby hair issues, you know what I'm talking about. I gotta calm my baby hairs. So right here, it's so close to my face, and I have these baby hairs that drive me nuts. Even here, sometimes it gets a little bit. So it was kind of twofold when I got this. So I had read an article with him that he made this because he wanted a product that would tame his unruly Asian eyebrows and identify as Asian. And I definitely know what he's talking about. Like, our hair tends to be generally really, really thick and straight, and just like, it'll just not move. So when he said he got this, he made this for himself, I was like, I understand what he's talking about. So I was really excited to try this. So far so good. I mean, they look kind of, it's a look. right? And, you know, probably 10 years from now, it'll be like, what were they thinking? But you definitely need your own spoolie. So I just grabbed some Katie Jane Hughes one I have. So that's the Patrick Ta Major Brow Shaping Wax in Tinted. Yeah, I think they look actually kind of cool. I'm moving along to the finishing the eye look, which is with the Major Dimensions 2 palette by Patrick Ta. So 2 products by Patrick Ta. This is the first time I'm trying his products, and this is what it looks like. So we'll do the creams first, then the mattes, and then the shimmers, because the shimmers leave a lot of glitter fallout. So this is the creamy part that's covered. Really interested to try that. So that's what it looks like swatched. And that's without diffusion. So let me just blend it a little bit so you can see what it'll look like when you actually put it on your lids. That could be a blush. That's really beautiful. It's like a reddish brown. Love it. For those of us with medium deeper skin tones, this is going to be nice for us. Okay, I'm not sure, my camera is on the fritz a little bit, so I'm not sure where it cut off, but I was swatching the cream shades and then now I'm on to the matte shades. So that's what that looks like. And that's just one swatch. I could go deeper on these, but I don't want to. It'll start to get glitter everywhere. But these are really nice. I think that's probably the most red one. I'm curious how the cream shades will work. So I'm going to take a Rephr 01 brush and go in with this shade here. Okay, maybe I used too much, but that is really, really pretty. Okay, I don't want to put any more on because it's going to probably start to crease. And okay, I do see some creasing going on, and that's going to happen no matter what because I have hooded eyelids. I'm grabbing my Lotus Series brush, Niji Builder. I'm going to grab this shade here because it's more of a packing brush. And this is what I do with Pat McGrath, and I just kind of packing it on, the glitter, the shimmer shades onto the lid and kind of pressing it more into the sticky parts so that in a way using that cream almost like a glitter glue. That's really pretty. I'm just, in my head, I keep going through, it reminds me of the Pat McGrath Divine Rose 1, what I wanted it to be, because at least for me, the Divine Rose 1, they have some great shades in there, but some of them look too ashy on me. And this Pillow Talk palette, it's the Instant Eye palette. This one, it's really beautiful, but it's very orange. But I love it because it's kind of the same vibe and these like kind of rosy pink hues. You can see that the vibe is very similar, but others have said the same thing about this palette. The Charlotte Tilbury palette, for some reason, runs a little bit more orange. If you want something more pink, this is actually going to be more true pink. I'm going to grab a Katie Jane Hughes number 20 brush. It's like a flat synthetic, and going into this shade at the end, it's a little bit crumbly, so we'll see. It's probably the most crumbly one, at least in my palette. And I just want to see what happens if I use it to add some dimension, hence the name of the palette. It's really pretty. All these are my colors. I love it. I'm going to grab this shade. I'm taking my Tried and True Mini Booster from the Sky series into this color here. It is a bit powdery. There's a little kickback. And I'm just putting this in my outer V to deepen that socket. You can see it more in real life than on the camera, and it could be because I'm filming at night and I'm using studio light, but it could be that kind of palette that actually looks prettier in real life than on, say, Instagram or filming. It's actually, I can see what the hype is about with this palette. Okay, so I'm taking this deepest matte here and then just seeing what that does. There we go. It's like smokes out the outer V is what I'm looking for. I love it. It's like a brown plummy shade. Okay, I'm gonna stop and then just take, I'm taking a Swain Goss 03 brush, which there's no product on it. And it's a great kind of blending brush, just blending all the colors a little bit more and diffusing. I'm actually taking a Wayne Goss 04 brush and going into this color here, which is this one here. So I'm going to grab this, I'm going to grab the gold and kind of put it in the middle just to see what happens, just to amp it up. I'm trying to use as many colors as I can. Really pretty. There's definitely different dimensions on the shimmer shades where it's just fun. It's a fun palette. The matte, this lighter one here, and just run it along here, just to connect and bring the look together. And probably grabbing this, a little combo of both of these, and just using that to deepen and line a little bit. As well as up here. It's a little bit red. And so if you don't have a warm undertone or you're neutral, just be mindful that it could run a little bit red, but it's nothing, I mean, I'm certainly not mad about it. I think it's really wonderful that it's, at least for me, it's like tan person friendly. It's hard for me to find palettes that kind of default on medium tan. A lot of palettes, they tend to just default on lighter skin. And Pat McGrath does not do that for sure. I'm gonna turn off the camera and then finish my other eye and then come back. Okay, so I finished the eye look with mascara, and I use the new Sisley Waterproof Matte Chestnut, and it's this really beautiful matte that just glides across. I almost feel like there might be some gel in there, and I actually tight lined with it. So really, I just got this from the Sisley, so this is new makeup to me. But so far I'm loving it. Look, it just looks really beautiful. It's a little bit smoky, it's a little bit uneven, but it's pretty easy palette to work with in terms of, I don't think this is actually very hard of a palette if you're new to makeup. It's pretty forgiving because I was actually pretty careless and smudgy, but it's what it is gradations and monochrome. So they kind of blend in together so that it could actually, one could even smoke out this look of deep to lighter. And the shimmer shades, I have about 4 shimmer shades, 1, 2, 3, yeah, 4 shimmer shades on my eyes. And it's very subtle, but it actually looks more pretty in real life. So I don't know. Again, I think it's one of those palettes that is going to even look prettier in life than on social media or Instagram and whatnot. And I can see why people love this. I am so interested now in the other one, in the other palette, the brown one. I did see one review where she was saying the quality of this is even better than the first, but this is pretty darn good. So let me get up close so you can see. Really loving it all. This is Patrick Ta eyebrows and the shadow. So loving it. And the foundation is actually looking really nice. I think it's settled down. Again, I think this is like the video of like makeup that looks better in real person than on camera. So again, it's something with the light that it's deflecting so much of light that it looks pasty. I look way pastier than I am in real life. In actual real life, I actually have a really, really wonderful natural looking glow with this makeup, with this primer and this foundation. Finish with a little bit of contour. Just grabbing my Victoria Beckham. I'm just going to do both of this and make it easy on myself here. And this is why I love bronzer even more than blush, that sometimes depending on what bronzer I'm using, and particularly this one and the Sisley bronzer, there's enough color and it almost looks like a bronzer or blush situation. Okay, that's looking great. I love this bronzer. It's like my favorite. Oh, the last thing I was going to say about the palette. The crumbliest shade in here, I used almost every shade in here except for the deep cream and then this one. So I want to use that in another video, but I pretty much use all the other colors. The shade that's the most crumbly is this one, and that's the one I used on my inner corner highlight. So what I did was I sprayed my brush with some Chantecaille Rose Water and then went into that last inner corner highlight shade, and then it's fine. So that's a hot tip. I think if I were to go back and use this if I wanted to amp up the shimmers more, I would probably use my Pat McGrath wand, the Intensifies wand, but for today I wanted to see how it performed by itself without any help. I might not use blush today because I'm going to try this. This is the Peau de Peche. I'm using the Peau de Peche today. This is the first time I'm using this. I did swatch it earlier, but I've never used these super loaded tinted highlighters. And so here's a swatch of this product. Super pretty. And it's definitely part of the rosy vibe. So I'm taking a clean cheek brush from the Lotus series from Sonia Niji. And again, this is the first time I'm using it, so I don't know how much is too much. You can see that there it is. I mean, I'm pretty glowy as it is. Let's see. There we go. Okay. No highlighter. A little more just to see how much it builds up. Okay. Highlighter. No highlighter. Nice color. I mean, it pretty much melts into my skin tone because it's pretty much, it's close to my skin tone. I wonder if I can put a little bit here on the Cupid's bow. Here. Okay, now I can see more of the peach. I wouldn't do that here. It actually made it look a little deeper. I can see how this looks really good, especially on medium tan and then also lighter skin tones. It's just kind of like a healthy, summery flush, or yeah. Okay, I'm gonna stop fussing. That's really beautiful. Now I see the hype. I can see the hype of why people love this. And that's what my brush looks like now. It just kind of just adds, it elevates the look. Nice. Beautiful. So I'm going to finish up the look with Lisa Eldridge's Muse lipstick, Velvet Matte. This is beautiful, perfect kind of rosy pink on me. And then I love to top this Velvet Matte with the Muse, the same color, but in the gloss. So this entire look is very very rosy. So this is the Suqqu Melting Powder Blush 02, and this is the mauve pink. Really beautiful color. Just gonna tap some of that. And that layers really nicely with that Westman Atelier super loaded tint highlighter. So I have a lot of rosy pinks on my face right now, but it looks really beautiful. Okay, so that's it for the final look. I don't even want to powder down my face because I think this look looks really dewy, and I think this is kind of goes with the look. So let me get up close so you can see. Really happy with all these new products. First impressions, I am actually really liking the combo of these two. At first it looked a little bit, it settled down basically, and love the palette so far. Super impressed with this super loaded highlighter and also the eyeliner. So, and also the brow, I'm really liking that as well. So no duds in the bunch. The only dud I actually didn't show, it's in a box for returning already. It's the Westman Atelier Contour Stick and Biscuit, which is too light for me. It didn't even show up. So out of the Sephora purchases and the Sisley purchases that I've tested so far, all of them have been winners except for the Westman Atelier Color Biscuits, too light. So if you're my shade twin or cousin, don't even bother with that color. Try the color Truffle. So yeah, just really happy with this entire look. That's it, beauty fam. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do so. And as always, please be very kind to yourself and others, and just be you. Until the next video, take good care. Bye.